Welcome to Gari Talks. I'm Gary with an I, and today I wanted to finish up my little mini-series that I was doing about pre-affirmation work. Mini-series, I suppose. So the key to making really good affirmations, effective affirmations for yourself, that work to help you create the life that you're trying to live and really aid you in your becoming. The way to make those, I've identified for myself as identifying core beliefs, especially the limiting beliefs that you carry, and your desires. So in a previous video, I covered the beliefs. And in this one, I wanted to talk about desires. So desires, and it's funny, for me, the word desire has always been uncomfortable, growing up at least. Like, what do you want and what do you desire it feels very different for me. It used to feel very different for me. Desire felt sexual. It felt like, lecherous. Like, it's very, very suggestive almost. Which is very interesting, because thinking about, I guess, desire and why that would feel that way to me is like the creation that is behind it. Because when you want something, like, there is a hungriness for it, and there's also like the will to create it, to will it about. A good friend of mine, Seth, told me a reminder. He was like, the reason they say the world is at your fingertips, all of these things are at your fingertips, is because you have hands, like, capable to make them. That's why it's at your fingertips. So what you about to do? But before you do stuff, you got to know what you want. And I think a lot of folks, speaking for myself and speaking for people around me in my life that I've noticed, people do not want to be bold enough to say what they want and have a desire, because they're afraid of being disappointed. And that ties back to the other video about beliefs, because they have a belief that they will be disappointed, and that, life is disappointing, life is hard. I don't get the things that I want. It is hard for me to be happy. It's hard for me to get the things that I desire. I don't deserve the things that I desire. That could be one. It's very, very, I don't know. I don't speak on people. I don't want to speak for people, but this is just what I have noticed based on when I ask folks, like, so what do you want actually? Like, in the ideal situation, what would you have in this? And people will be like, well, I mean, it's not ideal, so I can't imagine that. And I'm like, wow. And it's no judgment, just wow, we have been so alienated from our creative imagination, our imaginative uses. We accept what we see around us to be true and to be all that there is and all that there can be. And it's really just not true. It's just not true. And I feel like I've been called like a wishful thinker or an idealist or whatever. Like, you can call it whatever you want, but I like to believe that I can have the things that I want. All the things that I want. And I can have them eventually all, but like not all at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to have a healing retreat house kind of thing, a retreat center with different kinds of healing modalities. I want to do full body crystal grid healings. I mean, like, have a space that if people wanted to come and do something there, they could, and also I could invite people to come do things, And I also want to have a talk show, and I also want to be an author, and I also want to speak around the world, and I also want to facilitate workshops and dialogues, and I also want to have a dinner series, and I also want to create art, like physical art, and I also want to model. Like, I want to do a lot of things, but also for me, understanding that they're not all going to happen at the same exact time. But that doesn't mean I don't want them, and it doesn't mean I'm not allowed to want them as hard as I want them, and do work towards what I can do for them. Because I do things that they all kind of work together. Instagram is a really cool place because I think it's able to blend a lot of interests together for me. So being bold enough to desire and claim your desires, proclaim your desires, tell other people your desires it takes some work, but it takes letting go of up here and dropping into your heart space. You know, I think we think a lot. A thing that I have, a thing that I am letting go of is knowing and not knowing. Like, you know, I know but I don't know all the time. I know things, but I understand. I don't understand. That's why understand is very fair. Like, why I feel like it doesn't always resonate with what I feel, because it's like understand. I get the underneath of it, like but the understand makes me think more integration, embodying, and I definitely could do more work with the embodying. So it's been really, really beautiful to allow myself to just desire and just feel good. It's still awkward. Sometimes I feel really good and I want to share it with other people, and I'm just like, hey, and people are like, hi. But that's a desire of mine. I want other people to feel how I feel, like to potentially know that this is a potential for them. Not to say that it's a better existence or a worse existence, just a different existence, and that it's accessible. To be joyous often. I just got so sidetracked in the joy, just thinking about the transition that I have made in my life. So I'm coming from a place of, I had a really, 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 really interesting life. I've loved it. It's been a lot, but I've come to love it a lot. So I'm thinking most about my time in college, which I will reference often because I need to really unpack that time, and here's like a good place to do it, I suppose. So in college, so I was in Prep, which is a program that helps students in under-resourced, or like places with not a lot of access but have a lot of brilliance, and they help students in 5th grade get into independent schools for high school and then through college, and then I'm still connected to them now. So I bring that up to say I was very academic from a young age, and I did that. It was 14 months, so 2 months over the summer, then the entire school year of 6th grade. So you're in 6th grade at your public school, plus you're doing this program on Wednesdays after school and Saturdays during the week for the whole school year, and then 2 months afterwards, and then you get into your school, right? Then college, 4 years there, did not want to be there, but I did it. So prep was a little different because I don't have as much animosity towards it now. I had to work through that, a lot of feelings around prep, which is a whole other video. But I bring up those two experiences to say, for a long time I didn't know what I desired, because a lot of people around me were telling me their desires, and I was like, that seems important, so I will take that on as my own. Like college, I think college was such a time in my life where I really learned some very poor habits, and that's why it was so hard. I really learned to settle, put myself all the way at the bottom, while also emotionally taking up a lot of space in my relationship. I remember that, which is also a whole other conversation. But understanding how that manifests itself when you put yourself at the bottom of so many things, and like not having desires, like literally no libido. I was also depressed, feeling guilty about having desires because I had negative experiences around desire, not wanting to be in college and not wanting to be, studying and being in that space, but trucking through 4 years and not being able to shift my mindset at the time while being there, like just suffering for 4 years. And I think it really taught me I learned a lot of things, really great things, really, really great things. And also I learned a bad habit to suppress what I care for and suppress my voice and my wants. But I was also very, very vocal at the time. It was a very interesting time, like I'm saying. But now stepping into a space of being bold and saying, no, I want this, I don't want this. I don't want that. No. And yes, oh yeah, I want that. Bring me more of that. And I don't know. It really comes with it does come with feeling good. And a lot of times I feel like our desires are unknown to us because we don't take the time to know. Like it's been, for me, and it takes crisis usually for us to do that. So like people who are in relationship and then they break up and they're like, cut their hair and become a whole new person because they've really spent the time to know themselves. After somebody dies, a child goes to travel the world and they find themselves. And we often feel like we need a catalyst to do these things. And for me, my catalyst was not speaking to Nate, my partner of 4 years, for like, we're not talking for 30 days for a clarity break. And in this time, I've been able to really sit with myself and be like, what am I about? Who am I? What do I care for? My desire can't just be Nate. I do desire him. And also I laugh now because I'm like, I'm so much more than that. I want so much more than that. I want so much. And it's not that he's not enough at all. And it's not like the things around me are not enough. Our nature is to want through contrast. Things happen, things that happen when you want, like a thing that you don't want to happen, you be like, you know what you want to happen. If somebody's rude to you, you want them to be nice. Somebody cuts you off, you want them to let you in. That's what it is, or it's a signal or something. You're indicating. It's just where you're putting your focus when it comes to your desires. So it's been really, really powerful to be able to reflect deeply about my desires and embody them and be in them and feel good about them and be like, yes, I want that. It feels good and it's coming. So it's funny how much of this stuff seems silly when you're not accustomed to it first. Like saying my affirmations with gusto was something that I had read, and Tony Robbins, I'd be like, yeah. But then also seeing an environment where you're affirming things and you're like high energy, like how could you not feel great? If every time you went to a party you screamed, I'm fantastic and beautiful and capable and I'm gonna be a talk show host and I'm gonna own retreat centers and all the, like if you said that during the space or when you were having sex at the climax you screamed all these things, the things would come to you so crazy quick because pure bliss and desire together is just a beautiful mix. So that's what's on my heart, and I hope you all enjoy this. Hope you enjoyed this like little package mini series about affirmations. I really enjoy talking about affirmations because they really have changed my life, but you have to do them right. Because when you come through talking about I'm a millionaire, I'm a money magnet, but in your heart you feel that money is wicked and people who have it are corrupt and they never share it, and that it burns a hole in your pocket, like Lisa Nichols says, meaning you're always going to spend it, and that it's hard, that nobody in your family's ever had money, and if you have it, people might take, like if you have all these things, you talk about I'm a money magnet, your being is just confused. It's just like, wait, I'm trying to bring it to you because you're saying it, but then like you're holding it away because of your beliefs. So you gotta get clear. You gotta get clear, which really is that introspection. And I'll put questions and also maybe some practices down in the description for everybody to look at. Tell me yours. I would love to hear, because these are processes that I am like formulating for myself and formalizing for myself and writing them down. So I'm really down to hear everybody else's, because we're all developing our own things together. How do you create affirmations? How do you identify your desires? What are some things you desire? Yeah, I'd love to hear and love to interact. Please interact with me. And so give me feedback. Like I'm down for it. Like obviously when I hear it, I'd be like at times, but I'm really down for feedback. Please let me know what you want to hear more of. Let me know what you don't want to hear about. I mean, I might still talk about it, but I would love to hear from you all, from everybody. So have a wonderful day. Talk to you soon.